President Trump, if you see this, please save us. I don't even see our American flag anymore. Biden's talking with some kind of crazy flag. This is America. This is our land. Please, President Trump. Please, I hope you have a plan. God, please save us. Save us from the devil, please. Y'all, I'm about to have a panic attack. This is our country. Our country. This is awful. God, please save us, please.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So that clip that you just watched was from 2021, back when Biden had just become president, and MAGA folks were crying online, literally begging Trump to come save America. And it's wild because now that he's back, it's like he can do no wrong in their eyes. And you know, Trump could just say, "Oh, the sky is purple," and they would clap like it's gospel. And that is why so many people say that MAGA has become a full-blown cult, right? Because when you start idolizing a politician like that, you stop thinking for yourself, right? If Biden did even half of the stuff that Trump has done, these same people would have lost their minds. But now that it's Trump, you know, suddenly there's always an excuse, there's always a master plan. And you know, it's not even politics anymore, right? This is worship. But I don't want to say too much. Credit goes to all original creators. Thank you so much for happening when you saw this. Let's watch the videos and we'll be back with some commentary.
Every time I post something good about Donald Trump, all you guys say is, what about January 6th? Well, guess what? January 6th, President Trump was not elected. Biden was in office. And so if there was any issues with things that should have been done on January 6th, it should have been done by Joe Biden. You can't come back and criticize Donald Trump because his supporters did things because he didn't get elected when he was not even in office. These are people who supported him, but he was not elected, so there was nothing that he could actually do on January 6th because Joe Biden was president.
Hi, Marie. Can you put me in touch with whoever ties your shoes in the morning? I would like a word, please. Marie, out of all the opinions about January 6th that have ever been posted on the internet, this is the dumbest one. Which is astounding, Marie, because you guys have been full of excuses for January 6th over the years. He told them to march peacefully. Antifa did this. They let them in. It was a day of love. And yet here we are, Marie. I guess now all it takes to debunk a Trump supporter is to whip out a goddamn calendar. But I hate to break it to you, Marie. Joe Biden was sworn in on January 20th. And guess what day January 6th happened on? Oh, you got it, Marie. On January 6th, when Trump was still very much the president. And as president, he did in fact have the power to stop what happened that day, but he chose not to. He chose to go to the White House and get out some snacks and turn on the TV and watch as his own goons attacked police officers for hours. And then after that, Marie, he pardoned all those violent criminals who were attacking police officers in his name over an election that he lost. This is the guy who you support, Marie. So yes, as long as you guys continue to support him, we will continue to remind you guys what he did that day. All right, Marie, just some quick advice. You might want to get yourself a calendar, learn how to read it, and maybe pick up a helmet. Might help with safety around the house.
Now imagine, this scenario will never happen. This is not the timeline where this shit will happen, okay? But imagine your MAGA supporting immigrant parent who voted for this shit calls you and says, "I'm sorry for voting for this, you know, whatever," right? I can't even formulate a conversation with this individual what it would be like, because the thought of possibly hearing the word "I'm sorry" from this person is alien. I don't even think this person knows how to spell sorry. The "I am" part, lost on him. I know him can't spell that part. So imagine you tell this person a week before the election last year, "Hey, just to remind you, this man is a 34 count felon. Okay. He has lost businesses. He just got tried for basically touching, fiddling bitches. And you say you don't care. And the only reason why you would be sorry is because in this person, the only reason why this person will call is because that 401k, that crypto, all that stocks that you've been investing in for the last 25 years just tanked. That'll be the only reason why this person would have called and apologized. That'll be, I'm telling you, we haven't done enough timeline shifts for us to get into that timeline. This motherfucker will go in, he will jump off the safety boat into the sinking ship. The ego and pride be eating this man up.
We need to start calling MAGA what they are, pro-fascist, because if you are this scared of Antifa, a movement against fascism, you are fascist. Because when you embrace an authoritarian style government, when you have unquestioning obedience to a savior and view any attack on said savior as an attack on the country itself, when you give vast resources to the military and allow them to patrol our streets, when you scapegoat immigrants and other minorities for all of our national problems, and when you attempt to suppress all opposition, you are pro-fascist. And when the second in command for your party and this country chalks up messages that said that they love the biggest fascist leader of all time and said that they were going to do some of his most horrific actions to their political opponents as boys will be boys, you're pro-fascist. So we get it. For you pro-fascist, only pro-Trump speech should be protected. But the rest of us don't hate America. We hate fascism and the fascists who promote it.
Right-wingers at the Portland ICE facility are truly out of control. Last night, they were caught on camera committing multiple illegal actions. For example, they stole the personal property of protesters at the facility.
Handing out boxes of respirators.
Are you pushing a woman?
Yep, I am.
You can give it back.
Nope.
You just stole that from me.
He goes later.
They blocked and grabbed a woman who was trying to leave an encounter where she was surrounded by a bunch of MAGA supporters.
Why are you touching them? Leave her alone! Why are you grabbing her? She is trying to get away from you! Leave her alone!
And they also tried to tear down the encampment by the facility, even with Portland police right next to them.
Hey, we're not doing that. We're not doing that.
It seems the right-wingers are trying to justify this by saying that the encampment is illegal, but that's not how the law works. Just because the city says that the encampment is not allowed doesn't mean that the right-wingers are allowed to steal people's property and try to tear down somebody's shelter.
Welcome to heaven, last name and date of birth. I'm not seeing you in our database. Are you sure you're in the right place? You are. You want to talk to a manager? Sure. Just 1 second. Hi, Tammy. Could you patch me through to Jesus? Yeah, thanks. I'm on hold. That's a pretty cross necklace you have. Hi. Yes. It's Donna from the lobby. I am here with a woman in a red hat and a camouflage t-shirt that says God, guns, and liberal tears. She's not in our database, but she's pretty insistent that there's been a mistake. Mm-hmm. Okay. Did you love your neighbors? Oh. No, she lived next door to a lesbian couple. Mm-hmm. Did you help the poor? When you help those people, it makes them lazy. They need to pick themselves up. What was that last part? By their bootstraps. Mm-hmm. Okay. How did you treat immigrants? Have a nice... Oh, she's gone. She muttered something about woke bullshit and stormed out. Yeah, I don't know. Every time I see that red hat wandering, I'm like, oh, did you take a wrong turn? That's all right. I'll call downstairs and give him a heads up she's on her way. Okay. Yeah, next Friday sounds good. Let's do sushi.
We should feed immigrants to alligators and zip-tie children in the middle of the night. Why can't we just get along? I mean, there's so much political division and violence, and I think it's the Democrats' fault.
I live in a pretty red area in the state of Wisconsin, which means I have a number of friends who consider themselves MAGA. And I think the MAGA leadership and MAGA faithfuls are different groups of people. Because the MAGA faithfuls that I know, they're not driven by hate, at least the ones I know. They're driven by fear. They want the same things that the rest of us do, the chance to live their lives, raise their families, and have a little dignity. They were told that the reason that they were struggling is because of someone else, immigrants, poor people, teachers, or the government. But those weren't the people who shipped their jobs overseas, raised their rents, or gutted their pensions. The real problem wasn't their neighbors. It was the people who profited from turning them against their neighbors. Now, the policies that promised freedom and control haven't delivered either. They just handed more power to the same corporations and billionaires who wrote the rules in the first place. The movement that said it would stand up for working Americans ended up protecting the wealth of people who don't even live in their communities. But now what I see is a lot of people that feel stuck because deep down they can see it. And it takes courage to say, we were misled. It takes even more courage to admit that people you were told to blame weren't your enemies at all. But honestly, that's the first step towards something real. The truth is, nobody gets their dignity back by tearing someone else's down. We get it back by standing up for each other and demanding an economy and a government to do the same.
So this video is for the leftist tankies and for the MAGA who aren't technically fascists. The ones that are just stupid and thought that Donald Trump was going to give them everything they wanted, even though he didn't the first time. For the leftists, I would like to point out how much you claimed that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris were going to be the exact same as Donald Trump, when not only was Joe Biden pushing back on Netanyahu in any way that he could without violating international laws, but he also wasn't actually attacking anybody. Donald Trump has not only threatened most of our allies, but he's also already attacked Iran, Qatar, Venezuela. God, I'm sure I'm forgetting several. But now Trump is also openly saying that he doesn't need to declare war with Congress in order to just go over to Venezuela and kill people. He says, I don't need Congress, I don't need to declare war, we're just going to go over there and kill people. So once again, leftist tankies, you were fucking stupid. But this is also where we bleed into the stupidity of the MAGA. Because just like the MAGA love to call themselves patriots when they are nothing of the sort, it's entirely a deflection tactic. Because they are openly supporting a felon and a traitor to this country in a party that is chock full of Nazis. But now we can also say, again, that the Republicans are not constitutionalists like they claim to be. We've already talked about how they don't give a shit about personal rights when it comes to a woman. The only part of the Constitution they know is the Second Amendment, and they can't even fucking get that right. They've claimed for decades to care all about states' rights, except for when states started rejecting abortion bans, and when the states wanted to enforce their own election laws. And they also don't care about states' rights when the right-wing Gestapo storms into peaceful cities and starts kidnapping people off the street. But it's pretty fucking obtuse to claim that you're a constitutionalist when you don't care about Orange Jesus stomping out free speech, you don't care about him ignoring the judicial branch when they keep telling him that him sending his Gestapo into cities is illegal, and you don't care about the legislative branch when he says he's going to ignore them and just start killing people in another country. You're not constitutionalists, and you're not fucking patriots. You're just gullible, uneducated bumpkins who failed 7th grade history. Which would normally be fine, but now you're taking us down with your burning meth lab.
At this point, it's not even about America anymore. It's about their savior complex. They don't want a president. I don't think they do. What they want is a messiah. And that is dangerous because blind loyalty never ends well. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. Do you think that this MAGA has become a cult, or do you think that it's just extreme loyalty? This video is for educational commentary purposes only. Credit goes to all original creators, and I'll see you on my next one.